Hello, my name is Leila Jones, and today I'm with a producer who goes by Blink. So introduce yourself and give a little bit of facts about how you got into music and what made you want to produce.
My name is Cash Vasquez, also known as Blink. I got into music back when I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, because my godfather used to take me to church, and I used to learn how to play the piano there. That's what started me in music, and from there on, I just fell in love with producing, really just watching other people growing up, and producing was just the number one thing I always wanted to do. It started with a whole long thing that we'll get into.
So do you do anything else other than producing involving hip-hop?
Sometimes I'll rap on my own stuff, but that's just for fun, really just learning how to make songs for the artists and beats for the artists, not just making beats so it sounds good to me, because at the end of the day, the main instrument is the vocal.
Right.
So
do you do any sampling? Like, do you know anything about that?
the main thing I do is sampling. That's what I blew up off of, and especially with like the song that I most recently did that just got nominated for a Grammy, named Kehlani. That's the main thing I did in it, was the sample in the song, which is a Summer Walker song, and I really just took the vocals out of it and stripped it and made it into a whole new melody around that.
Nice. So do you enjoy doing sampling?
That's like the number. Yeah, I love sampling. I love taking old music. Even I like to do rock music a lot too, and R&B.
Right.
And I'll sample that and make it into hip hop.
Do you have any artists who inspired you to get into producing or like get into sampling?
I feel like the first person I heard sample something was Ice Cube and like Dr. Dre and all that when I was growing up. And so when I heard all that stuff, I couldn't even tell it was a sample. Most of the songs they were making. And then when I found out it was sampling, that's when I started to fall in love with it. So mainly like Dr. Dre was the person that like made me really get into that.
Are there any like newer artists that you feel can like be similar to Dr. Dre or Ice Cube is what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like their sound was so different back then that people are trying to be like them, but I don't feel like they can ever be mimicked.
Right.
But I mean, like, if LaRussell's kind of older, but he's a newer artist also at the same time. He has that kind of old school kind of flow and everything to him, but he doesn't really sample that much.
Right.
So I haven't really heard much except for maybe like Kendrick Lamar, because he draws all his inspiration from them. But that's really it.
So, do you mainly just do hip hop? Is that your main focus?
Main focus is hip hop, but now I'm working with artists to make more pop and like indie rock music, because I met an artist named Sullivan Grace who makes really, really poppy music and some kind of country swing kind of music.
Right.
And so we're trying to get into the next Frozen movie. So we're really just trying to make stuff that's family friendly and sounds like it should be in a movie. And even like making the song sound like a movie scene more than just a song.
Right.
Putting ocean sounds in it. Even like one of the songs we did, we made it really sound like it was like a mermaid, like if they were doing like a My Little Mermaid remake or something. That's what we did.
So do you think hip-hop should be an inclusive or exclusive genre?
That's hard. I feel like realistically it should be exclusive,
right,
because it stems from when it was first started. It stemmed from people making music to express what was really going on in their life.
Right.
And so like, if you're just making music or making hip hop music just because you're like, oh, I can make a quick bag off of it or something,
right,
then I don't think that's cool. I think you should really be in love with it and like try to show you what you're going through the music.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how has hip hop made an impact on the current state of the world, in your opinion?
I feel like it's had a massive impact, because if we listen to the music that we hear on the radio now from like the 80s or even the 90s, back then it was really heavily R&B and even rock
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes classical kind of music. But back then it wasn't any hip hop because hip hop was looked down upon
Right.
like the whole time, and it was seen as a bad genre, and people were saying that it was devil worshipping and stuff. But now it's been come to be accepted,
Right.
and I feel like that's a huge impact for something to go from it's the devil to it being praised, and people are making Christian music out of it.
Right.
You know, I feel like that's a huge impact on the world. For if anything was able to go from 0 to 100, that should make an impact on the world anyway.
Yep. So, in your perspective, what makes a great hip hop record?
Good questions.
Mm-hmm.
A good record, I feel like, is someone that's fully expressing themselves
Mm-hmm.
and fully putting you can tell they put their time into it, because at the end of the day, I may like something that you don't like, and you may like something that I don't like, and that doesn't make the record bad. It's just that we have different preferences.
Right.
I feel like the main thing is, are you able to listen to it and get an emotion out of it? Because music and realistically should all be emotion.
Right.
Music's everywhere, and that's the main thing that gives you emotion. When you listen to a movie, if you had no music behind it, you wouldn't cry to the ending. You know, so I feel like it's all about emotion. If it brings out emotion, then it's a good record. No matter what the emotion is, it could bring out anger to you because you hate what it's saying.
Right.
But it's still bringing an emotion to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, what does hip hop mean to you? And like, has it affected your life positively or negatively, or just elaborate?
I feel like, hip hop's the biggest thing in the world for me. I mean, it's changed my life realistically, and I feel like at first everyone thought it was a bad thing for me because I kind of quit everything to do this one thing, but I knew deep down inside that this is the only thing I wanted to do, and I was willing to go broke to do it. And I feel like it ended up being a positive thing for me, because I started off just making beats in my bedroom, just messing around.
Right.
And it just somehow got to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And with it getting to the right people, it just ended up becoming something that I never expect to, where now I can support the people that I want to support and stuff, you know? So it's a massive good impact on my life.
So, getting into hip hop in the music industry, has it affected like your style, like the clothes you wear, the way you talk? Like, has it affected any of that? Like the people you choose to surround yourself with?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like everything I wear has probably been seen on a rapper before and stuff. Like I wouldn't know what Denim Tears is unless I saw it on Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. All the stuff that I wear is based off of rappers. All the way that I talk and everything is just, I've been around rappers for so long that I just change into that and turn into that. And then, what was the end of the question?
Like just like the people you surround yourself with.
That's what it was. But that's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's like, although my best friends have nothing to do with music, the main people that I am around now are all super into music.
Right.
And they either are producers, and people I text all the time are producers, or artists and stuff like that, because I feel like you need to get surrounded by people that have kind of the same mindset as you.
Yeah, exactly.
And mainly with music, you really need that creativity around you, because you can be only so creative. You need other people. Even Kanye's the biggest, probably in my opinion, is the best producer to ever live. And he is, not every song that you hear is made by him. He needed Timberland to make his biggest song ever, Power. Right. So, yeah.
So how did you figure out that hip-hop was the right genre for your artistic expression?
I feel like reason why was because growing up, my family always played it for me. And when they played that music, I always felt an emotion out of it. And it's kind of like being a subject of your, of your community, right? Like if this is all you grew up on, it's kind of like you're willing to, you're gonna listen to that, you're gonna do that or whatever. So with my parents always listening to it, they show me Dr. Dre when I'm a kid and stuff. it was just like, it was bound to, that I was going to listen to it.
Right.
And then it somehow just was bound for me to produce it. You know?
I know we already touched on this a little bit, but who are the paramount figures influencing your work within the realm of hip-hop?
Kanye West, 1000% is the number one. Mainly just because he kind of changed the whole genre.
Right.
He added this whole auto-tuney kind of sound from 808s and Heartbreak. And that's the main thing I make my money off of, is that auto-tuney sound and what I send to people. But him, and then you got to give the flowers to like Timberland and Dr. Dre, of course, Jay Dilla, DJ Mustard is like one that now I'm really getting into, because it's just how, it's just all the Cali stuff.
Yeah.
And I just love making that.
We've actually talked about him in this, so
yeah,
that's cool.
I love DJ Mustard.
Do you plan on like doing anything to help you improve in music, like go to school, anything to do with that?
Yeah, so I got accepted into the USC Music School just a couple weeks ago. So I'll be going down there next year, and I'll be in the music production school for the Dr. J Music Production School.
Dope.
And so, I mean, I've been told by people to not go, because it's like, I'm already making the money to not have to.
Right.
But I just feel like with going there, I can meet more people, and especially people that aren't already established, because that's like my number one thing, is I just want to work with new people. And
Underground.
It will just make it so I can meet someone that's never been met before, maybe build a connection I never would think would be a thing.
Right.
And we just be the next big duo.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like it's never bad to get an education too.
Yeah, that's dope. So do you have any music that you could show, or any samples that you have that you worked on?
Yeah, I can't play a lot of it, but
you can play a little. Yeah,
I'll play a little bit. This song, it was made a while ago, but it's by Lil Tecca and Ken Carson. It's called Olympic, and I produced it, so I'll skip ahead to like a little bit.
All these hoes the same, we can talk if you want it. No, you know my name, you a thought, what you call it? I be in a sea, around, I be saucing. I'm in the water, Olympic. I'ma just win the Olympics. Baby, she flipping Olympic. I'ma just win the Olympics.
Yeah, I'll say that
much.
I can't play too much.
That's cool. Well, thank you for doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
If there's anything you'd like to add, you could.
I mean, if you're trying to do music production and you're in this class, do it, because it can support your family and go live your dreams.
Yep.